Hey folks, Jake and I are here this morning to shoot a quick victory lap video for the Vinylizer's 500 subscriber contest. I put in a last minute entry and my incredible dumb luck, I actually won the contest. I don't even know what to say about all of that. I find it amazing that as unlucky as I am usually through life, here I've been in the VC just under a year. Still have a couple months before I hit a year, and I've already won 3 contests. Of course, my incredible beginner's luck. I actually won my second and third contest that I ever entered. Just so. So I thank the Vinylizer for holding this contest. Thank them for the prize, which I really wasn't even sure how much the prize was, because it was 30 quid, and I thought, what the heck is a quid? Is it like a baby squid? What am I going to do with 30 of those? So, yeah. Actually, I usually consult the Southcombs who go to my church and are from England. I usually message Jamie Southcombe anytime I need like conversion information from U.S. money to UK money. But yeah, it was $35, and so I started putting together a list of music I wanted to buy. Vinylizer may be a little disappointed because this isn't really, I didn't really buy any metal. There were some metal albums that made my short list. In fact, why don't I share a few of the items that I was looked at hard. One was the new live Iron Maiden Book of Souls CD set. I really considered it. It's been fluctuating in price over here between about $14 at the low end and $20 at the high end. And I thought, man, it's $14. Maybe I should go ahead and pick that up. But I didn't. I also considered buying either the Black Sabbath, The End CD set or the Blu-ray, because I don't have any Black Sabbath on in my concert collection, and I have a rather extensive concert collection. So I don't have any Black Sabbath, so I thought about that. I also, what was the other? Oh yeah, I looked real hard at there's a 3 CD set on Rush of Farewell to Kings, I believe, and I've really been getting into Rush lately. So those were all items that were on my short list. Oh, and I also nearly pulled the trigger and got Megadeth's Rest in Peace on vinyl, which is at a very affordable $18 on Amazon. So yeah, I looked at all of those, but it's some of them I passed on. The live albums. They're I've got Book of Souls, the studio recording, so I can hold off on that. I really wanted new music, and I've got Rest in Peace on CD as well. So what did I get? Well, Sunday night when I was making my list, Lise posted a needle drop, which just blew up my list entirely. She played a clip from this album. Gary Clark Jr., Live North America 2016. This, she played the cut, the fifth song in, When My Train Pulls In. Man, I've heard the name Gary Clark Jr. before, but I'd never really listened to his stuff. Wow, what a player. What a player. Blues guy. Got a little Hendrix in his playing. Picture from inside. Kind of got a red tint to it. Not much in the way of liner notes, but that's okay. So I was very excited to pick this up. Just as soon as I heard that needle drop, I just knew, man, I really got to think long and hard about that album. So I went ahead and got it. The second album I picked up was this, Joe Satriani, What Happens Next. This album came out last Friday, and I've been listening to sound clips online on YouTube. This is it's got a folder. It's not a the traditional type digipack. So, dude 73, go ahead and pick this up. Yeah. Anyway, I listened to several songs. I think the song that won me over it continues to be my favorite so far on the album, and that's the third cut, Thunder High on the Mountain. He's such a great player, and I've got a half dozen of his albums. So I was very pleased to make this the first 2018 recording that I picked up. Alright, so that leaves me with one more CD that I bought, but I'm going to show you three. Because this album is actually, might have been a good response for the contest Ronnie's Record Room ran recently. Just got to buy one more. After leaving the group Kansas, Kerry Livgren went on his own and formed another group called AD. And in 1988, he released the album Prime Mover. Now, he wasn't very happy about this album. I loved it from the very beginning. I think partly because now on this particular recording of Prime Mover, there wasn't much it was done a lot in the studio. There wasn't many musicians. AD is kind of a misnomer, I think, because the only other real player on here was Warren Ham. He did lead vocals and woodwind instruments. Otherwise, everything else was played by Kerry Livgren. The only other exception would have been a few background vocals. But it's pretty much Livgren and Ham. And I love this album. One, I think the songs are great. And also, Warren Ham's vocal delivery on this album is just spectacular. A high soaring tenor with real power. I mean, he has got some pipes. This guy can flat sing. And so this particular version of Prime Mover, it was released on Sparrow Records, which is a Christian label. It has 9 songs on it. And so yeah, I love this album when it came out. Just wore it out. One of my favorite AD Kerry Livgren AD albums. But I read in the liner notes of the new album that I picked up that it was his least favorite of his post-Kansas work, which kind of surprised me. I knew he tried to improve it, but I didn't realize that he felt that bad about this album. He said it was low budget and just not very good things going on when this album came out. So this came out to 1988. So 10 years later, he put out Prime Mover 2. And he tried to fix some of the problems that with the original album. He also added, I would say, 3 other songs to this album, and then rearranged the order slightly. So Prime Mover 2 was a very different album. Very different. The order's different, more songs. It's more musicians on this album, and he really tried to fix a lot of the things that were wrong. And I guess he probably thought he had it at this point. Now, that brings us to Prime Mover 3, and this is the album that I did pick up with prize money. And that's Kerry Livgren, Prime Mover. It doesn't say Redux on the front, but it does on the spine. Probably can't see that. Maybe? There you go. Prime Mover Redux. And this is probably the most organic of the 3. More players on it. In fact, let me read the band. Kerry Livgren, Warren Ham, Greg Q on bass guitar, Jacob Livgren on background vocals, Dean Heitkamp on backup vocals, Daryl Bratcher on trumpet, Brian Nelson on trombone. So he replaced a lot of the sampled sounds like trumpet and trombone, had them played. Now, this came out in 2008. If I love the album so much, why am I just picking this up in 2018? One, I don't think I originally knew that this album was out when it first came out. It was also a little harder to get. And I guess I didn't know that it was, to be honest with you, I may have thought that this album was just a repackaging of the old album. It doesn't say, on the front, it doesn't say Redux. It doesn't say anything that suggests that, except that maybe I thought, well, first, look at this cover. I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I love the album, that's not a very good cover. I just don't, I'm not impressed with that. This is a great cover. And I guess I maybe just thought it was a repackaging of one of the older albums. I didn't realize that he would have actually gone in the studio and tried to fix it a third time. When I did come to that realization, I put it on my want list. But I guess it wasn't high priority. One, because I've already had 2 copies of it. And I just didn't know how much it would sound differently. I have played a little bit of this. I haven't had a chance to get a good deep listen, but I can hear the difference in the playing. And so Warren Ham's vocals still sound amazing, but the instrumentation is probably a little better on this. So I was very, very pleased to pick up this copy of Prime Mover. All right, well, I've taken up enough time for me and for Jake. I want to thank Vinylizer for holding the contest. And if you are not subscribed to him, go over and subscribe. Want to thank Lise for that needle drop on Gary Clark Jr. Thank you, Lise. That was an amazing discovery, and I appreciate it. And I hope everybody's having a great week. Hopefully here in Kentucky, we're about to thaw out. The temperatures are supposed to be a little higher today, about 13 degrees higher than they were yesterday. I think tomorrow another 10 degrees higher, and then maybe into the 60s on Saturday. It'd be nice to thaw out a little bit. So hope you're having a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.